illustration for a sermon one day, and they'll file it away. The person who has the gift of mercy wants to run around. Is everyone encouraged? Is everyone okay? Does everyone feel loved? They've done their job. The person who is the leader will say, all right, where's the team? Each person needs to do their job. Let's get underway. Make sure that we're all doing the right thing. Maybe the person with the gift of prophecy might say, well, you know what? Because we believe in the health message, we don't really need to eat a lot of cake anyway. So we will find a healthier alternative. I don't know. Everyone has their take. None of it is necessarily wrong. It's just different.
Yeah.
So that's really important. We're all going to make it different. Maybe Ken would come in with his guitar and say, let's have a song while we fix up the cake and play Happy Birthday. So all those reactions, all valid, all different. So what are some things to think about when we're identifying spiritual gifts? What types of ministry do I enjoy? In what types of ministry do I see positive results? So Libby said something about, you know, we might have our personal ideas, but if God is leading us and there is a positive result to what's happening, somebody has just encouraged me, then maybe that's the type of ministry I need to keep doing. What am I being asked to do on a regular basis? What types of ministry blend with my temperament? This is an important one. We might not think so, but it is. If you are more of a task-oriented person, you would probably be very good when it comes to administration, organizing, and doing a lot of organizational tasks. However, the person who is maybe highly task-oriented, maybe we wouldn't put them to do something that is highly people-oriented if that's not where their temperament lies. That's just a thought or an observation. I'm not saying they can't, but just saying where would this person be most effective? Someone who's very people-oriented but isn't very organized, would we put them doing a job that requires high-level organization? Again, there are things to think about in the church. Each person has their gift. So when we talk about who's going to fill what positions, we need to look at what are these people doing on a regular basis? What is their passion? What do we see positive results in? How is God blessing their ministry? How is their temperament aligning with that ministry? So have a think about in your own life, where has somebody encouraged you to serve? Have a think and respond.
Feel that I'm usually an upfront, lots of people person, one-on-one or behind the scenes.
Okay, we're being very quiet, talking amongst ourselves. Where has God encouraged you? What people has He used to encourage you to do certain things?
Group, which was why I was good with my work, because most of that was just one-on-one.
So Yvonne, you're saying one-on-one?
Well, I know I never thought I was a people person, but I know that with my work, where it was one-on-one, God helped me to do that. I feel I'm not so great with a huge group to speak out or anything, but I like to be in a ministry one-on-one with people.
Okay, good observation. So like helping, serving, one-on-one. Anyone
Behind the scenes often.
Okay. Leah, you have been awfully quiet. Oh, looks like she's frozen as well.
I'm here. I just was checking on Cherie. That's all.
I see. Sorry. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Her internet dropped out and then her battery died.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and then she tried to log back in and it wouldn't let her.
Oh.
So I'm not sure if that's because we're recording.
Bring your battery.
I'll come down and give her a jump start if she needs it.
You mean a kickstart? Kick it and see if it'll start.
Kickstart.
Okay.
Yeah. She says she's going to watch it later. So
All right. Lydia, Ken, where have people encouraged you to serve in the church?
Hopefully music.
Hmm.
Who's that? Who's that? Oh, yeah.
Libby and Ken, are you guys? Oh,
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
I just got mine muted. Can you hear me?
Yes, can hear you now.
Yeah, we were just muted because I think that's what's problem is people aren't muting when they're not speaking, so it's not picking up as well.
I think, don't mute it.
No, I wasn't.
Leave it alone. Leave the arrow alone. In a lot of things I do, especially when I'm away with young people, is you're doing a
Something
group
you like.
thing and you're doing one-on-one all of the time. So if you can do one, you can do the other. You can guide as a group and you can guide as one on one situation. And I can't differentiate between the two because when I'm doing things, I'm doing that all the time.
I have a gift.
You know, and it doesn't matter whether they're adults or whether they're young people. It's the same scenario. You know, if we ever go away kayaking over on the river, I'll be talking to you as a group, and I'll be talking to people individually as we paddle along the river. Because when we do that, and people have never done it before, they're nervous. They get frightened, and it's the same with any other avenue of worship that we're leading or activity that we're leading. It's the same thing if you're trying to God base everything that you do. You know, it's a multitude. It's just like Christ did. He spoke to people individually, and he spoke to 500, 5,000. You know.
I think you have to have an ability though to be able to talk to groups.
Oh, you mean a big mouth?
No, well, I mean, I guess you could agree with that in a sense. Usually, you end up with hecklers and people like that. I mean, I'm probably the same. I can stand up in front of a group and cope with a few hecklers and that out there, and then not be so much on one-on-one. You know, if people are lazy and I'm trying to deal with somebody who's lazy one-on-one, then I'll be pretty harsh on them.
Yeah.
And that, whereas Yvonne would be totally different. And then,
Yeah.
and I think it's confidence too. I know Ken's got a lot of confidence in what he does. And he can get up in front of a group.
I was going to add that with Ken, for example, with the youth-led stuff, I'm sure you've had teens or youth at some point say, you know, we appreciate what you've done or what you've said or something that you've done for me. You know, I'm sure someone has come back to say thank you. And maybe you're not so willing to sort of say that here. But from my perspective of what I've seen of you, you deal very well with young people. So that is a gift, you know, working with young people.
Believe it or not, when I was doing my diploma in outdoor education, I did most of the administration side of it through the internet, through e-learning. And there was one particular topic in which I had to sit the exam 8 times because I kept failing. And guess what it was?
People skills.
People skills. I failed 8 times before I got it right because some of the questions were thrown at you in different terms. And if you can't expand your brain far enough, you don't get it right. And this is what I mean about dealing with groups and having to deal one-on-one. You've got to be able to do it all, because if you can't expand what you're trying to get across, you're going to fail.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
You've got to open yourself up to every specific avenue of spiritual gift, of any other gift that God happens to give you.
That's true.
Because one of the things, what Yvonne said earlier about one-on-one, one of the things that I found is that when I talk one-on-one, the conversation actually keeps on flowing. But if there's a third party, what I've observed is it usually ends up being hijacked. So the conversation gets stopped and sidetracked. So you don't actually have that one-on-one. Whereas, you know, for some things, you know, it might be okay. But if you want to, you know, it's like having a quiet word with somebody. You don't want somebody else butting in and trying to disrupt the flow of the conversation. And, you know, and I've spoken with people for quite a lengthy time because there were no interruptions.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, there is the one-on-one, there is the group, there is different ways of ministering, and of course, Jesus had all the gifts. So he could teach, he could preach, he could heal, he could do all those. Now, most of us are not going to have, you know, perhaps 5 or 10 gifts. Maybe we have 2, maybe we have 1, maybe we have 3. But the important thing is to understand where God leads and where God opens doors. For example, I can think of times in my life where people had given me very specific feedback about things that I did. I've had, some years ago, there was someone who was preaching at the church where I was attending. I never knew this person, never met them before. But at that point, I had already started to think about ministry. And it was not something that I had spoken about with a lot of people, and I had never spoken to this person before. And they heard something that I said in Sabbath school, and then they said to me at the end of the service, I was leaving, I said, you know, thank you for your message. And they said to me, have you thought about preparing for ministry? Now, I didn't know this person. They didn't know me. They'd heard something I'd said, they'd watched or observed something, but that was very specific feedback. There have been other points in life where people have given me very specific feedback about something as well. And I go, well, where does God encourage? God uses people to speak to us. And those are things that are important to listen to. If God encourages you to do something, he's going to confirm it through people. He's going to confirm it through someone. It won't just be something that you think about, okay, I've read about it, I've prayed about it. All those things are important, but then he confirms it with somebody in our lives. So that's really important. All right, we are fast running out of time. I want you to grab your spiritual gifts test. If you've done it or if you haven't done it, 5 minutes, answer honestly. The first response that comes to your mind. Try and avoid a neutral answer. So sometimes people go 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Try not to do that. Try and go strongly agree, strongly disagree, or whatever it is that the question is. So hopefully you've got that, and it is letters A to T, so I'm not sure how many questions they are. It says always false or does not apply, circle 1. Often false, circle 2. Occasionally true, occasionally false, circle 3. Often true, circle 4. Always true, circle 5. Go ahead with that.